Once a fruit let go of the tree. No one knows exactly why. Maybe the wind whispered too hard, or maybe the branch grew tired. But one day it just fell. From way up high, where the sun kissed it good, it dropped, tumbled right out of heaven's reach, and hit the earth with a quiet little thud. The fall didn't look like much. No fireworks, no big sound, just one lonely fruit in the dirt. People passed by. Some stepped on it. It started to rot, skin wrinkling, sweetness spoiling. Everyone forgot, except the tree. But you see, inside that broken fruit was a tiny secret, a seed. It didn't shout, it didn't sparkle. It just lay there, quiet and small, until the rains came. Not the loud kind, but soft drizzles that smell like mercy. They kissed the dirt where the fruit had cracked, and somewhere beneath, the seed woke up. It stretched, it yawned, it split. Because inside that seed, even before the fall, was the pattern of the tree. Not just the memory of where it came from, but the essence of what it could become. A part of the tree had always been inside. Its very design was destined to grow back toward the light. First came the roots, going deep, down, down, even more down. Then, ever so shyly, a little green shoot poked through the soil. Then bloop!
Aww.
It didn't look like much at first, just a whisper of hope. Seasons came and went, some kind, some cruel. The little sprout became a little tree. It held its arms out, like it remembered something, its source. And one day, it bore fruit too. Not just one, many. Because that's what seeds do when the rain finds them. They become what they once fell from, and sometimes even more.
And this is our story, too, because heaven never stops writing. You and I, we were that fruit, fallen, not by accident, but by a deep brokenness that touched us all. Cut off from our source, we tried to sweeten life without the tree. We chased light in places that only gave heat. We sank into the dirt of this world, bruised by choices and circumstance, and called it normal. But inside, the seed remained. The world saw failure, but heaven did not just see the potential, it believed in purpose. The rain? That was grace. It found us in our most buried places, not to scold, but to soften. It cracked our pride, split our false comforts, and whispered, "Live again." And we did slowly, painfully, truly. With every season we grew, not toward perfection, but through transformation, not in striving, but in resemblance, in a stillness that began to reflect the one who first breathed on the dust, until we began to resemble the tree from which we came. And one day, you realize you're not just surviving, you're bearing fruit. Love, mercy, peace, forgiveness, so that those who have also fallen might taste the goodness of the tree. This is the gospel. Not just a rescue, but a rebirth. Not just a second chance, but a second life. Because the story didn't end when we fell. It only began when grace reigned. And if life feels hard these days, if the soil feels heavy, the dark, unrelenting, remember, growth doesn't mean you're alone. You're still under the shade of that tree. Still under grace, still becoming. Sometimes the deepest work begins below before it is seen above.
This parable was born one afternoon during a spirit-filled conversation with fellow brethren in Christ. As we reflected on the gospel, one truth continued to unfold before us. The Christian life is filled with beautiful paradoxes. We die in order to live. We lose our lives to find them. What appears to be an ending often becomes God's beginning. The image of the fallen fruit came to me as we considered the story of humanity. In Eden, we were created in communion with God, receiving from Him our life, identity, and purpose. But through sin, we became separated from our source. Like a fruit detached from its tree, what was once full of life gradually gave way to decay. Yet the gospel does not end with the fall. Just as a seed must be buried before it can grow, Christ entered into death so that new life might spring forth. And because we are united with Him, His pattern becomes ours. What looks like burial becomes preparation. What feels like breaking becomes the beginning of new birth. Through grace, God does not merely rescue us from death. He restores us into the likeness of His Son, patiently shaping us through the lifelong work of sanctification until our lives bear fruit for others. The title, "The Tree Was in the Seed All Along," is not meant to suggest that life originates within us. Rather, it points to the life and design that God first placed within His creation and which He now restores through Christ. Redemption is not self-discovery, but the restoration of what sin had fractured and the unfolding of God's original design through His Son.